All right, how are we feeling tonight, people? Come on, let's keep the hand claps going. Keep the hand claps going, please. Having a good night, feeling good. It's Friday night, of course. What do you expect? I hope your Friday night is going well. Anybody who's watching this live, if you're watching this in the playback, even if you're not watching this on a Friday, I hope that next upcoming Friday for you is feeling immaculate. Hope everything goes your way. Hope you wake up early in the morning, get to bed early that night. Enjoy the day in between. I know I have. Solid day at work today. Couldn't wait to come back to stream to you all. So thank you. And give a round of applause for yourselves for being here. I say this every night and I mean it. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here right now with me. And that's what's most important. That's what's most important to me right now. But don't worry, I got some Spurs news that we can talk about as well. We got a pre-match interview that I'm going to be sharing. Oh, we got some new tech. Look at my playback. I saw the last video with the new tech didn't stay, so I don't know what was up with that. I thought I had the live going for that night. I don't know what YouTube did. I don't know what I did. They got messed that up. I know. I'm sorry. And hey, we got the Thomas Frank pre-match interview. Some of his comments. I see some of the bootlicking going right now for the ownership right now. Saying some of the criticism isn't fair, but we'll get right into that. As well, we're going to be talking about as well the rumors. Again, Romero, is he leaving? And what this actually means for the squad. Talking about your club captain, by the way, folks. This is your club captain talking. This isn't just some Matisse Tell or a Dominic Solanke or a Richarlison. Like, this is your club captain. This is one of the pillars of the team, the major parts of the spine for this team. And one of the faces and reps for the club. As much as you may not like Romero, or that the other person may not like Romero, there might be even people in the team that don't like Romero, but he's the captain. He was made captain for a reason. And you have your captain right now saying, F this, I'm out. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. First, he said we and everybody there is being lied to. And then he comes back and says that it's a disgrace, the ownership, what they're doing, and the negligence. So we're going to get into it all, man. And we're just going to kind of hit on that Romero topic as well, previewing the match this weekend. Man United versus Tottenham. Come on. At Old Trafford, tough place to go as usual. They're on good form as well. Michael Carrick got those boys buzzing. I can't lie. Man United looks a little scary. But we'll see. But we'll go right into the show. Let me get some hand claps for my beautiful face. Here we are. I'm your host, De La Spurs. Welcome back to another edition of De La Spurs Live. We'll be coming to you this Friday, February 6th. Listen, good Friday night for me, like I said. Couldn't wait to come back to go live for you guys. So happy to be here. Happy to talk about the range of topics we got for tonight. and that I come with. I got some new tech over here on the side. Got a cord so I can actually plug in that monitor. I've been telling y'all I had this little bum ass monitor sitting behind this laptop and this camera, so you can't really see it. But now you're gonna see it in use, in effect. Been practicing with it, seen it on the playback, see how it works. So we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. But yeah, man, before we get into the show and the array of topics, go ahead and do the beginning logistics for me. Hit the like on the live stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It should be in the description as well. You can also follow me on X. That is also in the description. Get the posts of when I'm going live, man, so you don't have to be on the hunt. You don't have to be on the prowl, scrolling on live, YouTube lives, what's going on right now. You can see when I'm going live. You can tell when I'm going live by just following me and hitting that notification bell. Also, feel free to put a comment below and share this video. I really do appreciate it. I'm only going to be coming to you guys for about an hour. I know my stream's been going a little bit longer than an hour. I'm going to say maybe an hour 15 to be safe, just so you guys know what the time limit is. But of course, feel free to throw something in the comments if you want me to talk about something specific, if you want me to shut the F up, whatever it is. But we're going to go ahead and get right into things. All right, so we first have Frank's pre-match interview, making his pre-match comments. Pretty interesting interview. I mean, every time this guy is in front of the media, it's always something. There's always some quote you can pull from it that's just like, it's just a what you say. It's like it's the front facing. It's always grabbing headlines. It's always just, it is not necessarily positive. It's not negative. Sometimes it can just even be a flat statement response to a question from an interview. But there's always something in this interview that we pull from this guy. So, but today it's gonna be a little bit different. We got some tech. We got some ticky-tack tech that we can preview here. But let's see here. All right. Now this, I'm not sure of what the rules are. Let's see here. So here's what we are going to do. All right. Listen, I'm a little new to this, but I'm also true to this. I told y'all, hold on. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ha ha! Ha ha! Oh, yeah. Let's go. Let's go, baby. We're going to lower this just a little bit. Yeah, I told you. We were going to get it, baby. We were going to get it, baby. So we got the screen here. We're going to be watching some of the pre-match interview a little bit here. We're going to get some clips and kind of talk about them. But I wanted to just kind of preface this one first, because this, well, actually, we should probably get into this one last. That's my fault, folks.
Like during the broadcast section, they use like
so. Pause. All right. We're gonna use that one to transition into the next topic, obviously. But yeah. For this is talking about obviously Cuti Romero's post, and everything. He's also kind of talking about, I guess, just kind of the lack of discipline. Really, you know, it's really strange because he doesn't really have an answer for what's going on. And I'm not sure there's been a lot of communication from up top either about what to do and what they want from Romero. And right now, I think Thomas Frank is a little bit drowning in sort of the media controversy of it. But I mean, hey, that's part of the job. All right, you're on a Big 16. You have unhappy players, right? You have an unhappy fan base, right? The football hasn't been great. You're not in the best position as far as in the league table, in the Premier League, and in the form table. So it's going to be a lot of questions, a lot of tough questions. You're not going to get these easy kind of softball-y, let's just talk about everything that's good going on with the club. You're going to be getting these hard, pressing, hard issue questions. Hey, how are you going to fix this? This is going on, right? People have been saying this, and this negative about the club. What do you have to say? You're going to have to be able to navigate it. Previous managers we've seen do somewhat well. Some managers not so much. And we've also seen some managers that have just gone completely nuclear and set all bridges on fire between the club, the media, and everything in between. So, he's in a spot that we've seen a lot of Tottenham managers where you're at some point in the season where pretty much everything is looking low, right? You have a tough match in front of you, and you're looking for some sort of spark, some sort of inspiration, and that's really what this post-match interview is. I tried to find the full one. Maybe we could try to find the full one. Let's see here. We can try to find the full one. Hey, that's me. Let's see. Let's put Thomas Frank. You know what, folks? Let's put Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank pre-match. It's like everybody has a cut of it, but they don't have the full interview. I wonder if there's... Okay, here we go. Shout out to Chris Callan for this. Shout out to Chris Callan for this.
Thank you for speaking to us.
This is obviously his content. All right. Subscribe to his channel if you actually want to see this or actually want to watch the full interview. Go to his channel to watch it. I am just going to be talking about points and sections of this. All right.
For Saturday.
So this is Chris Callan's interview. So shout out to him.
Jet is getting closer.
Don't want to be, eviscerated from YouTube just from trying to use this. I just wanted to find a clip of the full interview. All right. So shout out to him. All right. Not trying to take
Christian Romero, you're expecting to be back available this weekend?
Just wanted to use this clip.
I do that, yeah.
All right.
And I'll ask you about Romero because, as you know, I'm sure he's taken to Instagram.
I'm going to have to turn the, I'm going to have to turn on the subs. I know you don't like this, but I don't really have this worked out to where I can hear out of this monitor.
This week,
so
to call the number of players that were available at the weekend disgraceful.
But you guys have the audio, so
he meant by that, and what was your reaction to it?
Yeah, I think if you want to know what he meant, you of course need to ask him. I think that's the right way to.
Is this still loud? No.
To take that question. Kochi is a very passionate character.
Whoa, what? Kochi? What is this? Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Is there a way I can... Is there a way I can... What is this? Kochi is very passionate. Character player. Kochi. That's funny. I'm sorry. Let's continue.
Yeah, that they want to leave everything on the pitch and is very ambitious and want to win every single time. Sometimes when you are like that, sometimes there is can come an outburst happen this time, and it's something we of course dealt with internally.
And this is not the first time he's perhaps taken to social media to express his frustrations. How do you feel about him using social media to do that?
I think I said to you again that there's a lot of ways of doing things. Coach has been very good for us this season and the past seasons, and I think that's very important to be aware of. I wouldn't have done it. Yeah, that's my message.
And the timing of the post has been...
So that's obviously been one of the highlights of this interview, is him saying, I wouldn't have done it. Well, of course you wouldn't have done it. You would have been fired. They would have had dude, with the state you're in right now and the condition you're in, bro, you would have been, they would have gotten your ass. I'm telling you, they would have, bro, I'm telling you, they would have had your ass in the grass. That's why you couldn't do it. Talking about I wouldn't have said it. Of course. Board would have what? You would have what? Huh? Come on. No. You are right on the chopping block, buddy. So, of course you didn't say it. You're right there to your life falling apart, being torn apart by this club like every other manager. But yeah, the reason why Cuti Romero can do this is because he's like, hey, I want to leave as well. So you want to pay me out the rest of my contract? I'll be out of here, out of your hair. No problem whatsoever. If you want to terminate the contract, if you want to sell me, that's fine. But I'm going to make a muck of it. And that, I feel like that's kind of what his position is. I don't want to say necessarily make a muck of it. I think, in all honesty, he's just calling it out how he sees it, like how it is. It's not mucking it up. It's just, hey, this is just this is how I feel. He's reacting in real time. If he's angry, he's gonna go on social media. That's just kind of how the world is now. And I mean, will it get to a point where he's gonna blow up in an interview, like in a player to media interview? We'll have to see. But right now, he's kind of just expressing it through social media. And to be quite honest, I think you'd rather see just the words written out than actually have a video of him yelling and losing his mind on video. I feel like that would probably be even worse, even a worse look on the club. So, I mean, this social media post, it can be edited, it can be deleted at any point in time. Yes, we know it will be posted, but, you know, people won't be able to go back to it like a video of a post match where we lose to Man United, and he's just, the club is a disgrace. This ownership is a disgrace. He won't have that accent. He won't sound like that. But you get what I'm saying. I'd rather just have a post. But Thomas Frank's in there saying, oh, well, I wouldn't have done it. Well, of course you wouldn't have done it. You would have gotten fired. That would have been your ass. That's
interpreted by some.
I mean, that's not just like a message.
Are you happy with the amount of business that the club did during that window?
I think if we signed.
So in this next one, they're asking him about the transfer window. And yeah, I mean, it's obviously we know what my opinion is, and a lot of fans have had their opinion about what they think of the transfer window already. It's been not good. It's been garbage, and it's not been any sort of help or assistance to Thomas Frank and what he needs. But for whatever reason, and you'll see, he's going to go to the defense of the ownership, and similar to what Johan Lange was saying, it's similar to what there's another interview that the team released. I forgot the guy's name. I honestly have never heard of him, but he's another member of the club that I guess had some sort of hand in the transfer window or some sort of say. From which angle, if he's in the board, if he's a staff, I honestly don't know. I've never seen this guy before, but he's in this video. He's sitting down in the exact same spot as Johan Lange. I think pretty sure interviewing the same guy and pretty much discussing the same thing of just saying, hey, this is the reason why we didn't buy anybody in the window, which is baffling to me because, again, like I said, well, the video got taken down. It probably got copy strike because of me doing this one right now. It probably got taken down because of that. So hopefully, listen, we're gonna keep banging our head against the wall until we learn, right? We're just gonna keep we're gonna keep going until we learn. We're gonna keep, we'll bang our head, get some bumps and bruises, some scrapes. You know what I'm saying? Till we get it right, till we figure it out. But yeah, what I was trying to say was, I said it the night before. I think it's dumb that they were trying to come out and thinking that the excuses that they did were going to be good enough, A, to try to calm down the fans, and B, thinking that video in general would help the conditions. It won't. And as much as you could say Vinay and Johan Lange have been more communicative than previous ownerships or CEO, i.e. Daniel Levy, and whoever else may have gotten fired in this recent period of change and all that, right? I think what the smart thing they did is that if they did something like this, they didn't come out and say anything. They just said, fuck it, we didn't do anything, fuck you. They never came out and said, oh, I'm sorry, we didn't buy anybody because we didn't have a plan to buy anybody if you didn't know. And it's like, that doesn't, you shouldn't, first of all, you shouldn't tell us that you had no plan. That doesn't help, A. And then B, we're still stuck in this situation. So you making this excuse and saying, well, we're just kind of giving up on this season and we're going to go into a next season, that does nothing for me as a fan now, right? Well, listen, we're not going to get into all that. We'll continue. But that was my point in the previous live stream, but it's not up anymore. I clicked the wrong stream.
Conor Gallagher, which is, I think, is a quality player to the, how can you say, a quality player for the starting 11. Of course, he needs to perform, and no one is promised any position. But we signed a quality player, and then we signed a young player for the future. I think if you compare to a lot of the other Champions League clubs, Champions League, Premier League clubs, I think that's very good. And I think where we are, I think is, it's okay.
So he's trying to compare the window to what other teams are doing: Champions League clubs, Premier League clubs. The issue is that you look at a club. Okay, look at a club like Atletico Madrid, who got a player that I'm not saying I was banging the drum for, but I've brought him up before once or twice, maybe in a stream before. But a player that I think a lot of people and a lot of fans were looking to think that we could buy was in our range, was a sign that the ownership and that there's ambition was Ademola Lookman. Blah, blah, blah. Ademola Lookman. So we tried to sign this, or the fan base wanted the team to try to sign this player because, one, he was an attacking player, something that we desperately needed, right? If we were going to literally buy only one player this transfer window, why wouldn't it just be a player that we needed, right? So he was the attacker that we needed. He's on the left-hand side, so he's on the side that we needed, a left-hand attacker, the exact position that we needed, right? He's won a Europa League just like we've won a Europa League, so he has that pedigree. He scored a hat trick in the final of the Europa League, so he has that in his wheelhouse, or he has that, just in his, he just has that, he has that dog, you know what I'm saying? Like he's shown that he can stand up in those big games and still play with the freedom and expression and creativity that he usually does, and that whatever the stage is doesn't faze him, or even if it does affect him, he's rising up to the occasion. So Ademola Lookman was a sign for fans. Like, if we could even just throw inquiry his way, that's a sign of progress. Maybe we're trying to do something. He's a left-sided attacker. Maybe we can get him. We didn't even do that. We didn't even do that. We did not look at this guy whatsoever. So now here we are with a midfielder, a left back who's not going to play any. We put a young attacker on loan in Ireland and then brought a young attacker from Ireland back on loan, right? Doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. It literally just felt like we did that just so that we could say there was a transfer on the last day of the window, right? Just to cover our ass, just to say that we didn't do absolutely nothing on the last day of the window, but nothing to reinforce the squad, nothing to push for anything towards the end of the season, nothing to even help us survive. It's literally a window with no plan. So he's going to sit here and say, oh, well, maybe we should, compared to what other teams did, because they didn't do much. Not a lot of teams did anything. Okay, well, not a lot of teams needed any help. Not a lot of teams knew what their status was until the very end of January because of the Champions League format. You're playing games pretty much till the end of January, right? A lot of teams didn't know their status, so they weren't really looking to sell players. And then the teams that definitely needed reinforcements did get the work done and got the players that they needed. Atletico Madrid got Ademola Lookman. They look pretty happy right now. Manchester City, they got Mark Guehi and what's his name? Antoine Semenyo, right? They brought in the players they needed when they needed to do it, and they got the job done. So even though you're right, they didn't buy 5 or 6 players like you would think in a summer window, or if there was a crazy fire sale at the end of the January window, they still got everything that they needed. We did not. So you can't sit there and compare just because we bought 2 players. This team bought 2 players and we bought 2 players. So I say that's not bad. Well, no, they bought 2 players that they needed. We did not bring in 2 players that we needed. And as a matter of fact, we've come in worse at the end of the window when these other teams have come out better. So you can't. It doesn't work that way.
To do more, but it was not possible for whatever reason. And I said it the whole time. That is very, very important that we take good decisions and are calm. So it needs to be for the short term and for the long term.
Thank you, Thomas. Best of luck this weekend.
Sorry, please.
Thomas, good to see you. I want to talk about João Paulinho because he had an excellent performance against Manchester City. Very versatile, plays as a 6, plays as a right-sided centre-back. But it must be really good for you to hear that the players are...
Side player like in the team. Seems like there was injected a little bit of energy or whatever into the post before from... so it's a threat, it's a challenge, but we're all looking forward to it.
And lastly, Xavi Simons, it seems like he's expressing himself, he's playing with more freedom. Of course, the whole team's level needs to be consistent.
Plenty of risk also. We become a little, and I agree that.
So he's just kind of going through. Let's see. We're going to find.
Hi, Thomas. How are you?
The next question that we need.
Sorry to go back to Romero's text messages, or sorry, not text, social media posts. You said that we should ask him, but we don't get a chance to ask him. So I'm asking you as his manager. 4 times now this season, he's sent messages which couldn't have either.
4 times.
I think it's 4 times, certainly 3, that he could have embarrassed the club or has mentioned the hierarchy at the club. Just asking, do you think that it's acceptable? And do you think that having had a word with him maybe on a couple of occasions beforehand, it's maybe not getting through to him?
First and foremost, I don't know it's 4. Well, maybe you've got better numbers than me. I know after the Bournemouth game and this game, those are the 2 I can relate to. Of course, like with a lot of things, we're dealing with it internally in terms of what we're taking care of.
Dealing with it internally. So this, I think that's kind of funny. He says that he's dealing with it internally because I don't think he's dealing with it internally. I don't think they are dealing with it internally. I think they I don't think Thomas Frank has received any communication whatsoever from Tottenham regarding what to do with Romero. And to be quite honest, I'll be surprised if he even receives anything from them. I don't think there's really been any communication because from the answers that he's given so far about it, he's literally answering it off the top of his head. Oh, well, I wouldn't have done it. So the board or whoever at Tottenham came out and tell them that you wouldn't have done it. Like, no. What? No.
Message to that.
But by dealing with it, I mean, Pedro Porro sent out a couple of social media messages as well. I mean, would you prefer your squad not to go on social media and just, if you haven't got anything positive to say, just don't say anything on social media?
The social media, I think I can't get rid of it. I guess I think it's what some people call the future, or is the now, whatever it is. So it's out there.
Future is now.
One thing I do know,
the future is now.
We all definitely put too much attention to social media, all of us. And it seems like everything was written on the social media is the truth.
So we're going to continue to skip through this.
Something we embrace.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Callan for this video. Please do not eviscerate my YouTube because of
on
this.
a Romero post. Just wary about, I know it's social media and you can't take too much, but so many of the players liked the post. And I just wonder, is that make it even more of a delicate thing for you to have to deal with internally in terms of punishment, whatever was done, because this kind of wealth of feeling among the squad, it seems?
First and foremost, we don't know what a like means. I don't know how many words were there in the text. Is it well done, guys? You did amazingly when I had to go off at a halftime. If that's a like, then perfect. Then there's nothing.
Okay, fair enough. Can you understand the fans' fears about the lack of activity towards the end of the window? Because obviously you spoke to us in press conferences towards the end about maybe a short-term solution might be a loan signing, things like that. And I think maybe the fans fear that the position in the table, if you can't put out, I say, a full team or options on the bench to change games, you could end up sliding down further.
Okay, so, yeah, I mean, tough questions. Kind of like I said at the beginning of this interview, before we even started the interview. It's going to be tough questions, bro. Bro was getting fried in this interview. And listen, man, a lot of Tottenham managers have been there before. So I know he's probably looking at the situations like, how did I get any sympathy from anybody? How do I get any sympathy from the fans? How do I get any sympathy from, hell, anybody in the room? But you're not, bro. You're like, you're the next edition of the latest Tottenham, latest Spursy, man. So they've been chefing him up this whole interview, man. They've been saying, I know you said this, but hey, can we just go back to this topic when you said this? I had a couple ideas because some fans have been saying this about. He's just, hey,
What I like is that the fans are very passionate and they want the best for the club, and are very ambitious, which they should be. Tottenham is a fantastic club, and we should achieve great things. It's also you say the chances we have a few players out. Some of them are coming back, and a lot of them are coming back also this season, and hopefully sooner rather than later. So that's one thing. Of course, we look into loan options. Of course, we look into other options, but for different reasons, nothing more happened. And I still think it was. Not like we wanted to buy 5 players. That's not the case. So we got a very good player in Conor Gallagher.
But that's the thing. Nobody was like, you gotta buy 5 players. Nobody was saying we needed to buy 5 players. I think everybody was resigned to the fact that in the January window, you can only do so much. But the fact that you do nothing is like we only got 1 player. We only got 1 player. And he's in the midfield, so his impact is only going to be so much. We clearly needed a left-sided attacker. We didn't do anything. We had zero inquiries. Zero inquiries in anybody on the left wing to attack. Any attackers at all. Forget just on the left side, any attackers. No inquiries whatsoever. No inquiries thrown out. no offers thrown out, no options thrown out, no players thrown out in exchange for attackers. We've gotten rid of attackers. We've sold more and loaned more attackers than we've brought in. We're getting rid of attackers instead of bringing in attackers, and we don't have any to bring into this big starting 11. So miss me with that. We weren't looking to buy 5 people. Nobody
now,
were.
But I just wonder,
just get one.
Do you look back at all on the Brennan
Start
Johnson
with
sale,
one.
bearing in mind we now know no more attackers came in after that, and still feel the timing was right, and maybe it could have been a summer move rather than a January one?
I say there's a lot of
exactly like dude saying exactly. Well, you got rid of Brennan Johnson and you didn't bring in an attacker. So maybe you should have waited, because if the plan was not to bring in an attacker, why are you getting rid of your attackers? Why are you selling attackers if you're not willing to bring them any? Like
moving parts in every decision. In terms of
up.
when you sell a player or when you buy a player. You can say if we play 3-4-3, we have right now 5 available players to the front 3, which is a decent number. Hopefully Richie is back soon, then we have 6, and when Mo come back, then we have 7. So
he says if we're playing a 3-4-3, we have 5 available players up front, which are good numbers. But you're also forgetting that you're in 2 competitions right now. Are you in the FA Cup? Are you still in the FA Cup? I can't remember still in the FA Cup. But either way, you're in 2 competitions right now. One in the Premier League, right? And then Champions League. So you got 5 attackers for 2 competitions that have to go pretty much all the way till May now. So you're hoping that out of this injury-ridden season that you've already had, that you're hopefully not going to have any more injuries. Is that what you're saying? Because that doesn't make any sense to me, to be quite honest.
So if you look at it from that perspective, I think it's okay.
Hi, Thomas.
Even from a tactical point of view, okay, you have 3 that are in the game. So you're only going to say you're going to have 2 attackers to shake things up, and you think you're going to be able to survive the season like that? Again, with no injuries, by the way. You're saying these players aren't going to get injured. I can bring in one player and swap them in this way. And then in the next game, I can do the same thing except in reverse and swap that player back in. And then the next game, bring in this player to go over here. And it's like, first of all, one player is going to be out there not getting a rest at all. There's going to be one player that's going to be playing a full 90 minutes or close to 90 minutes every game in that situation. And then 2, tactically, right, with the players we have, they're not going to really have any impact. So you saying, oh, we got 5 attackers, that's good. Well, no, we don't have. That's not good. Are you saying they don't have 5 attackers? We do have 5 attackers, but it's not good. It's not good. It's not good enough.
On Romero, I think last time this happened after the Bournemouth game, yourself and Johan spoke to him, and I know you said you've dealt with it internally this time. Just wondered if you could clarify, was it yourself and Johan, Vinay, who spoke to him again?
That I can clarify that we dealt with it internally.
Fabio Paraticci, he's left the club now. He's been unveiled at Fiorentina today, and he's come out and said Fiorentina have a serious set of owners, and he repeated that statement a couple of times. Just wondered what you make of those comments.
So here we go, folks. Here is the moneymaker, and here's where we'll transition out of the interview because I don't want to stay on this much longer. Again, do not want my YouTube eviscerated off of the face of the planet. So again, shout out to Chris Callan. Please go check out his channel. Subscribe to his channel. Watch this video on his YouTube channel. Please.
And then just final one
don't
from me.
Try to come to me
Spurs
saying that I have his content. I don't have his content. This is his content. I just wanted to comment
if you
on him
had any
on these
particular thoughts
videos.
on why that.
Sorry, let me go back.
Fiorentina have a serious set of owners, and he repeated that statement a couple of times. Just wondered what you make of those comments.
I haven't seen them. 2, don't know them, so I back Fabio to. That's probably the truth.
And then just final one from me. Spurs have conceded quite a lot of goals.
Oh, so he said, I haven't seen the comments, but I guess that's true. Maybe he's saying, I guess the comments are true, not saying that he's telling the truth. Again, I can't see it. I'm just reading the captions right now. So, but that's oof. Oof.
From
Getting
outside the box
roasted
this
in
season,
this
I think it's the
interview.
third highest in the Premier League. Just wondered if you had any particular thoughts on why that is the case.
No. In the specific that we got.
Section with George, please.
Hi, Thomas. Can you confirm if you've fined or disciplined Kuti Romero in any way?
I can confirm that we dealt with everything internally.
And I guess, we don't know then if you have or not, but
Again,
what would be
so again, he's saying dealt with it internally, and I highly doubt that anybody from Tottenham has told him anything about what to do with Romero. And I very highly doubt that they will come up with the plan. I imagine, if anything, they're going to go directly to Romero, or they're going to tell Romero what the discipline is, not through Thomas Frank, but they're going to get to Romero through Thomas Frank, right? So I think they're going to tell Thomas Frank, send Romero to our office, essentially, is what I'm trying to say. And that Thomas Frank will not be looped into what it is. Because I think at this point, I think the ownership is going to want to save face, and they're going to want to tell Romero straight to his face, you need to cut this crap out, right? You need to cut this crap out. This is not something that Thomas Frank can handle or deal with. You understand? Because Thomas Frank has to play Romero at the end of the day. Thomas Frank still has to write Romero's name on the team sheet, and Romero, I should say, is still the club captain. He's still wearing the captain's armband when he's out there on the field, and he will still probably start whenever he has an opportunity to start. So Thomas Frank probably can't say anything to Romero. So if anything, it's going to have to probably be the ownership directly to Romero, because I don't think Thomas Frank is going to be able to sit there and say, oh, well, you shouldn't be saying this about the club. This is Tottenham. This is the values, especially since he's just Romero's been there longer than him. So for Thomas Frank to sit there and try to come in, hey, man, you can't do this. This is for the club. This is what we stand for. We can't have you say that's not going to be a good look. And if they do have Thomas Frank do that, Romero's just going to get even more pissed off because he knows he's lying. Just like with these people only come out to lie. These people come out to lie. Those people came out to tell a lie. He's coming out to tell a lie that they're handling it internally, right? They haven't handled shit internally.
Argument for sort of fining him and disciplining him when people can draw conclusions, but I guess factually he stated that he was ill, but he felt like he had to play because
beat a lot in and everything. I think it shows that Kuti is extremely passionate. He wants to win. He wants to do everything he can together with his teammates.
I agree. Wait, hold on. I agree. Kuchi is extremely passionate. Extremely passionate. I for one second I second that motion.
To achieve great things, but
there's some comments that he makes about the ownership being serious, and then we'll kind of transition.
I don't think this is fun to be a head coach at the stages of where we want to be, but that's not the same that we are not ambitious. We are very ambitious.
Still the captain.
Here we go.
Ambitious.
I think here
not
it
as
is.
fun to be a head coach. Is very ambitious.
Table right now, and maybe one more signing could have made the difference in pushing to Europe. The club's spoken about ambition a lot, but it feels like the club's kind of settling for mid-table right now. Is that fair to say?
That's
sure. It seems like the club is settling for mid-table. Is that fair to say? Yes, that's fair to say. He's getting cooked, man. They are. Oh my gosh, I have to. Where is it? Hold on. They are cooking this man. I can't believe they are cooking this. They're cooking this manager. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. How is it that the media and you know what's funny enough is that fans will sit there, they'll watch the talk sport, right? They'll watch these YouTube videos. Oh, why doesn't Jamie Carragher come out and say this? And why doesn't this dude? And why does Simon Jordan? Do you not see right? These interviewers are ripping this dude a new one. And I don't even think they even necessarily care about Tottenham. They're just asking these questions just to get a story. But they're asking the right questions and they're putting it in the right frame. And they're putting him to the sword because just like the fans, we would love to ask these questions. I mean, honestly, to the ownership, but like these are these are oh man. So let's see what he says. Hold on.
Opinion. I don't think this club is very ambitious. I think if it was like this, easy to get another player in, then I played Football Manager. I decided that was not as fun to be a head coach of Tottenham. So it's never that easy. It's much more complicated. We all know that. Very ambitious.
Sweet.
That was not as fun to be a head coach. I think if it was like this, easy to get another player in, then I played Football Manager. I decided that was not as fun to be a head coach of Tottenham. So it's never that easy. It's much more complicated. We all know that. Very ambitious. We are in different stages of where we want to be, but that's not the same that we are not ambitious. We are very ambitious.
Still the captain, Romero?
What do you think? The answer is yes.
I mean, if so, then, I mean, to sort of set an example to the other players in terms of conduct and leadership.
Leadership is many things. Leadership is, I'm 52 years old.
We're just going to kind of transition out of this. Again, shout out to Chris Collin for letting me, well, I'm not going to say he let me use this video, but I used his video. But yeah, go to his YouTube. Shout out to him. Please don't eviscerate mine. For the love of God, please. I don't want that to happen. But no, so like, listen, first of all, he got cooked. We can admit that. He got cooked in that interview. That was bad. The second thing is that with that last question, like he put that on Thomas Frank, right? Is that fair to say, in your opinion? And here's the thing. That is like I said, they're looking for a story, right? They're trying to get something out of him. But that is your window. That is your platform to say, hey, you know what? I was planning to use the players that were coming back from injury, but I was expecting to get more. I don't want to say the club is finishing for mid-table, but I don't know how I would push for more without getting anything else. Like that would have been your platform to at least say something, right? You don't have to necessarily, if he didn't want to be as direct as going at the ownership, say that. Just say, hey, you know, in my opinion, if I was trying to push for Europe, I would have bought in players. I expected the players to come back from injury. I was planning on that. That's always been a part of the plans, because that should hopefully show the cohesion you have with the medical team and what everything is looking like and how on top of everything you are. So you can say, yeah, when Johan Lange comes out and says, oh, well, we have players coming back, like that was a surprise shock. Like, well, don't worry, they're going to be back. We don't need to do anything because we totally forgot about those players. Oh, yeah, that's right. They're coming back. Actually, you know what? Let's just not do anything this January window. Let's just not. No, it should be. Frank should say, well, you know, I know Kulusevski's coming back. I know we got players coming back off an injury. I know Kulusevski's going to come back. Kudus is going to come back. I'm not sure if Bentancur is going to come back. But, like, yeah, like I know these players are going to come back off an injury, right? But if I wanted to challenge for Europe, right, I would want a little bit more. And I'm not saying the club is settling for mid-table, because I don't think I think we're better than mid-table or whatever. You can make that, you can say that. I think we're better than mid-table, but, you know, he said, but if I wanted to push for Europe, I would have gotten more. Like that right there, you're not calling out the board. You're not calling them out directly, at least, But you're sitting there and saying, hey, listen, I know things aren't the best right now. I'm still in control of everything. But hey, if we were to push for more this season, we would have. If they put the ball in their court. But here's the thing. He sat there and said, no, we're ambitious. We got a plan. Don't worry. Everything's going to work out just fine. It's like, are you sure about that, Thomas? Like, are you sure about that? Because, bro, we don't even know if you're going to be in the job. Like, that's kind of what it's like. It's like, bro, we don't even know if you're going to be in the job next season. You're sitting here talking, oh, don't worry. We got a plan. We got a plan. Who is this we? We don't even know if you got the job, bro. Like, you might not be here next season, right? We'll be here talking to the next manager, grilling them and serving them up just like we did you, boy. Like, what are you talking about? It's crazy. So that interview, obviously, again, like I said, always pulling some from this dude's interview, always pulling some from that, right? In that, you kind of hit on Romero's messages and stuff. And to be quite honest, like, is Romero leaving? I don't know. I don't know. It's pretty much looking like it. So, I mean, you can't say yes, it's a definite right now. But, you have to look at the context. I mean, last season, I think he was priming himself to leave. As much as the club presented him with this new ambition that they wanted him to stay and everything, I think he primed himself that he was ready to go. And yeah, it's looking like next season it might be the end for him. It might be the end. To be quite honest, if we did sell him, like because I think it's going to be like Atletico Madrid. If Atletico Madrid came in, and let's be realistic here, if they came in with a £70 million euro bid for Romero, are we taking it? 70 million? I say yes. Anything above 60 million for him is probably is a decent deal. I think we got him for 40. How much did we get him for? I think it was for 40. Yeah, I think it was for around 40. I'm pretty sure it was for around 40. So, yeah, man. We can look it up on SofaScore, but I'm not going to pull that up right now. To me, right, if we could get like 60, 70, right, make a profit of 30 million, I would love to just get everything we sold for him back. If we could sell him for like 80 million, that'd be perfect, right? And just pretty much recoup for Romero in his time, right? We got our trophy and everything out of him. We got our 40 million back, right? Sounds like good business to me, but we'll have to see. Yeah, man, but no, I think it's, I think it's about that time for him, man. I think he's kind of sick of things. I think he'd rather play with his teammates as well. I think there's a lot of successful Argentinian players at other big clubs, and I think he'd rather try his luck there, rather play there. As much as the Premier League and Tottenham is a big platform, and he's the captain of this team, and the leader of this team, I think, we're not matching his ambition right now. And that's just what happens with big players. When you don't match their ambition, they eventually just say, hey, I'd rather go somewhere else. I'm not going to sit here and waste my time and play here. I know I'm good for trophies. I know I'm good for this. I'm no good for that. And if that's not going to be recognized, if you're not going to match that, if you don't see that, then, I'll go ahead and leave and go somewhere else. And there will be a team that's there waiting for me. So I don't want to say, farewell to him. I would want the club to step up to match his ambition, right, to get him to stay. I think the first thing you do that is by signing some good players that he'll want to play with. I think that'd be the first sign for him. And then you can talk about what his next contract will look like. And then you can talk about what the manager – well, no, actually reverse that. You can talk about the players you're going to bring in. And then you can talk about the manager you're going to get. And then you talk about his contract and what that's going to look like. And then hopefully, just hopefully, he'd be willing to give you a chance. But that would we're pretty much on strike three with him. So I think he's done with Tottenham, to be quite honest. It does suck. But yeah, I don't be surprised if it comes. Well, first off, don't be surprised to see more social media posts out of him, because I don't think this is the last time he's doing this. I think he's going to do this to the point where I think he has the ball in his court, because, or the ball is in the board's court, and he has the leverage, because he can just say, listen, if you want to terminate my contract, pay me out of it to get me out of it, I'll take that lump sum. Thank you very much. And go on a free transfer to Atletico Madrid, get more money from them, right? And play on a team that I want to. Or I'll keep posting, right? I can hand in my transfer request at the end of the season and you can grant me a transfer. Or I don't have to do anything. I can still post, right? Not talk to you all summer and then you just sell me, right? So he has the leverage. So you're probably going to see more messages from him, right? He's probably going to make more allusions and jabs at the board and how everything is being run right now. And it's just all part of if Tottenham is serious. Like, are we a serious club, right? I'm going to bring up Paraticci's interview with Fiorentina real quick. We'll get this on the screen. Hold on. All right, so let's share this. Ooh, I love this. Oh my God, I love this. I love this so much. I'm so glad I can share the screen now. You guys don't know how good this feels. All right, here we go, folks. I got this tweet pulled up here. We'll zoom in. Can we zoom in? Okay, yes. All right, so just kind of reading this tweet. So this is an article. As you can see here, Fiorentina have a serious set of owners, Fabio Paraticci, and why he left Tottenham. So kind of what their allusion was in that interview we were watching with Thomas Frank. Again, shout out to Chris Callan. There was a mention of in this interview that Paraticci had. I'm not sure if this is his very first or his official interview for Fiorentina or with Fiorentina, but this is a recent interview he's had representing his new club, right? And in it, he's made some mentions about how serious Fiorentina is, and maybe Tottenham wasn't. We're gonna kind of go through this very quickly. We're not gonna read this whole thing. So Fabio Paraticci has revealed Fiorentina's late owner Rocco Commisso didn't persuade him to leave Tottenham to become a close new sporting director. It was the other way around. News of Paratici's decision to leave Tottenham as soon as after he was formally brought back into the fold by the club as Johan Lange's co-sporting director in October came as a real surprise this winter. Speaking his unveiling at the Voila at the Voila Park. Paraticci said it's to Banal to reduce his decision to return to Serie A, whether in the pasta. I don't know what that word is. Banal. God, I need to read more. The Premier League right now is football's NBA. He said at the same time as an Italian, and this is true, by the way. This is kind of true. As an Italian, I had the desire to come back and compete in Serie A. It's a top league, very tough to do this job with a club like Fiorentina was a source of real motivation to do it with these owners who are very serious in infrastructure. that super international, a brand known all over the world, people who share my ideas on the game was more than enough for me to come back and work here. I decided to join Fiorentina on the 15th or 16th of December. Fiorentina had 6 points at the time. Club's general manager, Alessandro Ferrari, came to London to meet me, and I decided there and then to join Fiorentina. So it's really the Ferrari that did it. He's like, ooh, that's a nice car. To continue this, so really what the jab was, and we'll talk about it here as well. Hold on, let's get this a little smaller. There we go. Damn. You not see the top? Okay. There's stuff at the top. So this is, and you can kind of see here, in my case, Fiorentina have a serious set of owners, a very serious set of owners who are of great value. Rocco didn't have to persuade me. I was the one who had to convince him to take me on. So, yeah, it's as you can see, some pretty heavy comments that he's made about Fiorentina and Tottenham, and just how serious Fiorentina is versus Tottenham. And I think that sheds some light again to kind of how this ownership is and what's going on. And at this point, right, it's not only that he wanted to work with the serious ownership, but from what I'm seeing, he had to convince the owner to hire him. So he was sitting there like, bro, that's crazy. It's very telling. It's very telling. Let me just say that. It's very telling that one of your directors of football, right? Now you have managers, directors of football, right? I'm sure eventually at some point, Harry Kane's going to come out with an interview and be like, man, nothing was going right at Tottenham. I'm sure there's been player interviews in the past where that's happened. But like so many times, and we have another example of it, that there's people who come in with this, who come in from this ownership, and it's just, they're like, I'm so happy to get out of there. It's not serious. There's this going on. It's that. It's stale. They don't want to compete for anything. They're just there. They're not serious. They're not. And it's so surprising to me that he can go to a club. I'm not saying Fiorentina's a small club. It's a club with a lot of history in Fiorentina, right? I'm not saying they're not a big club in Italy, right? But to go from wanting to come to Tottenham to go to Fiorentina, almost begging to go to Fiorentina, he had to convince the dude. So he had to put in work to say, hey, man, you got to let me. I want to go. I want this job. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to get out of Tottenham. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. And again, I mentioned it before, and this was in one of my last live streams, when you make him co-director, right? Right? He was one of the single light pillars as far as our recruitment team, right? He also came in, he restructured the youth academy, Fabio Paraticci, right? So for the ownership, the new ownership, the Enoch kids to come in and bring somebody from Arsenal, you're bringing somebody from your rival to come in and make him play co-director to you, instantly give him half of your power that you wanted here at the club. Everything was set for him to be the director, and then you come in and make him co-director. So again, just like how I mentioned about Johan Lange's global director of international academies or whatever at Aston Villa, it feels like it was a made-up BS title so the ownership can get rid of him. The ownership wanted to get rid of Paraticci, but they wanted to save face. They didn't want to sit there and stand on their own and say, listen, we want to get rid of this dude, regardless if we believe in the crimes that he committed with Juventus or not, whether he's being paid too much, whether he's a dick behind the scenes in the office, whatever the situation is why they wanted to fire him, they should have just stood on their own and did it. This making up a fake position, making up a 50-50 was the vehicle so he could leave, right? And you can also see at the end he thanks Tottenham, and I think the reason why he thanks Tottenham is because, hey, instead of firing me and embarrassing me, they put me in this quote-unquote 50-50 role, so it would be a lot easier for me to just walk out the door. And I'm sure they told him, I'm sure there was some inkling, there's some inference that, hey, us putting you in this 50-50 role means that we're eventually going to get rid of you. We really don't want you here, especially if Vinay is the one that's running the show and doing everything, right? So putting you in this 50-50 role, but Vinay is the face. He's the one coming out with Daniel Levy and doing this and doing that. It sort of meant that he was the guy that we wanted. We want him to be the guy, and we can let you go. This guy who's doesn't have a single footballing bone in his body, hasn't done anything with football. We want him to run the show. And you, who's done football things, who just restructured our youth academy, literally was the last infrastructure pillar that we had. We'd rather get rid of you, put you in this fake 50-50 role so that you can just go ahead and leave. And you know what's funny too? Let's look at this. Oh no! Oh, never mind. I thought I had the tweet pulled up, but there is a tweet or an X post about how they still want to keep this 50-50 partnership, and they're looking for Paraticci's replacement. And they're going to keep this 50-50 with Lange. So here's the thing. Here's what I love about that too, because you know damn well as soon as they find that replacement for the 50-50, they're going to get rid of Lange and make that guy the director. It's like they literally made up this 50-50 role so they can literally have somebody in the waiting in the queue while they handle one person, right? Because they don't want to be embarrassed and say, hey, we messed up, so let's get rid of this guy and bring in this guy. They say, no, let's do a 50-50 role with this guy, bring him in, and then we get rid of this guy. Oh, we can just make you the 100% now because there's only one person. And you know what's interesting? I wonder if that happened at Tottenham. I would be interested to talk with the Arsenal fan just to see if Vinay ever did anything like that of the sort at Arsenal. I would love to see if that ever happened at Arsenal. If there was any like made up roles that he had so that they could just kind of get rid of people, or they made up roles to bring people in, and then all of a sudden now you're the head director of this guy and you get a super duper promotion. And it's like, wait a minute, do you just make up that 50-50 role just so you can bring them in and get rid of somebody else? And then you're saving face because you're not firing one guy and having to come up with the reason of why you're firing him, because you say, hey, there's a 50-50 role with this person, so we bring him in. They split the roles. Oh, it's fine if we get rid of him because even though it's a 50-50 role, if we have one person in charge, they'll just go back to being a regular position in the first place. So it's this kind of this veil of corporate bullshit terms, BS, that it's not serious. If for the question at the bottom, it's not serious. That's not a serious thing. That's not a serious thing football clubs do, right? If they get rid of somebody, they get rid of somebody. If you're not doing the job, you're not doing the job. We'll get rid of you. And the reason is just because you're not doing the job. There is no we put him in a 50-50 role with this guy and we're planning to do this and they're going to split the roles and do this for the future. Oh, he left. Well, we got to look for his replacement. Oh, we found a replacement. Great. Well, oops, we fired Lange now. Yeah, well, we're just going to go with this guy because he has the – that's exactly how it's going to go. And you do this so you can avoid accountability, right? Because it looks like this is just part of the plan. This is just natural because one guy leaves, you got to bring another guy in. And because you let go of this guy just has to step in and be the 100% director now, because that's just what has to happen. It'll turn back into the regular position. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And the reason why they're doing that is because Lange is done so bad that fan base hates Lange so much that I'm not sure that this ownership feels even comfortable continuing with him, because if they do and he fucks something else up, then they're coming straight for the board's head. So to probably give them some leeway and to give them some slack, they're probably going to get rid of Lange. They're going to bring in this replacement. I don't know who it is. I don't know where he's from, but they're going to bring in the replacement, get rid of Lange, make that guy the director role, make it a regular position, have him just answer to Vinay. And I'm not sure if that guy will have any charge of restructuring about whatever's going on in the club, but that's how that's going to go. Just so you know, because that's just what this club is. Not serious. It's not a serious football club. We have no idea what we're doing right now. Honestly, everything is just to save face. We brought in this PR guy just to save face. It's just, anyways. Last but not least, and we're about to wrap up a little bit, we'll quickly talk about Man United, Tottenham going up to Old Trafford with this. Obviously, I think Michael Carrick has Manchester United playing with a lot of confidence right now. You could say it's a little bit of home cooking. You get a player that's played with Man United, gets what it's like to play for Fergie in their best times. It looks like, not necessarily saying they have him playing the same way, but it looks like there's a style, there's a brand to how they're playing. The players are latching onto it. I think the fans have somewhat latched onto it, and they're rolling right now. And even though you could see a Fulham team that came back late in that game to try to get a draw, they still ended up losing that game, right? This Man United team, again, conceded late to Arsenal, ended up getting the win. So even if it's a similar situation with Spurs where we're going back and forth, we get a goal to draw the game late, right? Definitely see that in that scenario. Definitely see Thomas Frank sitting back, allowing pressure, making a line of 10 players with one player up front, just trying to protect the draw at Old Trafford. So I definitely see them trying to go for a win, even if we're sitting back, even if we have a lead. I don't think this Manchester United team is looking like they're afraid of anybody right now. And, I think right now, to be quite honest, if you're looking at any team that's looking like they got their head down and they're just going along as it comes, it's Manchester United. And if they keep this form, and then B, like I said, if they just kind of have this grinded out, keep our head down, and we're just going to go at it each game at a time mentality, they'll get back into Europe easily. They'll get back into Europe, whether it's Europa League or if they're back in the Champions League, they'll get into Europe for sure. And honestly, and if they do, good on Michael Carrick for doing that. We've seen so many times now in these platforms, these clubs are bringing in these former players to kind of be these interim, kind of be these liaisons to the next manager, into the next plan, into the next phase. So if Michael Carrick comes in, and he has managerial experience, I can't remember where, but he has managerial experience at other clubs. So if he comes in, and I'm pretty sure it's in England, but it's in the lower leagues of England, right? So he has managerial experience in the lower leagues of England, and he's, if he gets them Europe, I don't see why not offering him the job. Yes, he doesn't have like a trophy in his resume, so you can't say like he's a certified winner, but why not? Why not? Because he definitely he gets it, and you got a manager who gets it, who's playing good football. It's Manchester United, so you know that they have regardless, you're going to have the money some way to pay you, right? You got Cunha, you got Embuemo, you got Bruno Fernandes playing. You could say that Mainu and Doku and what's the other dude? What's his name? Ahmad, right? They got young players coming through the youth academy that are pretty good as well. You got Casemiro. What's homeboy's name? Casemiro. You got Martinez. I think I forgot his name. Is a center back. I can't remember if he's there or not, but you got some decent players that you're playing with. Players are gonna want to go there. And if they're back in the Champions League and they're smelling themselves, I can only imagine where they're going. So to say all that, this is a Manchester United team that I think we need to be very wary of. I see a lot of fans on social media saying, we've beaten this team for the last however many years. We're going into this game. I don't know if it's going to be like that, man. I don't know if we're in that same position. The position where we are, man, where we're barely fielding 11 players to them, where they're like this right now. They're feeling themselves. They're smelling themselves. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. But listen, I think it's going to be – I think it'll be an intense game because, to be quite honest, I don't really think Manchester United likes this team. I don't think they like playing us in a sense like I they're going to be up for it. And I think they're going to be up for getting a result out of this game. So I think this can be a tight, cagey game. I think it'll be intense. I think you're going to see some tackles flying around. I think you'll turn into you'll see the basketball match come into play at some points where we're going back and forth. I imagine quick goal in the first, probably die out in the quick goal in the first, right? If we score, I definitely see Manchester United getting an equalizer, probably go in drawing at the half, and then it'll kind of be up from there in the second half, because if we do this thing where we play shitty in the first half, then play amazing in the second half, and Manchester United's going for the win, if it's still drawn in the second half, I don't know who's going to win the game. I really don't. But that's where it's probably going to turn into a basketball match. But it'll be a close, tight, and intense game in the first half. And hopefully we'll be able to get a goal in whatever scenario, set piece scenario, something like that presents itself. I'm going to go with, as much as I just said Manchester United, actually, yeah. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the 2-1 United win. But actually, yeah, because I'm not sure if I see us scoring 2 goals. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's go for it. Fuck it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go for a 3-2 United win, in my honest opinion. To be if you want my honest opinion, if you're a betting man, I would bet for a draw in that game, right? But I honestly think Manchester United would probably get the best of us just because they're playing at home, Fergie time, what Michael Carrick's bringing to the team, how that team is feeling. That's probably how it's going to end up. So I would say a 3-2, but if I was a betting man, I'm a gambling man. I'm definitely putting the over on like more than 2.5 goals. I'm definitely I'm probably going with more than 2 yellow cards on each team, right? You're probably going to get at least 3 corners for each team is what I would say. Yeah. It'll be again, I think it'll be a close and intense game in the first half. If it's tied, it'll be a basketball match going into the second. I really don't know who will come out on top of that, but that's my prediction. Say 3-2. Unfortunately, I think Tottenham will lose. I think at best we can get a draw here, a 2-2 draw. Honestly, I think that will be a solid point. especially playing against a Manchester United team that's playing in this form, the form that they're in right now, the form that we're in right now, with the players we have out, the injuries we have out. I don't think we'll be able to play all out, balls to the wall, offensive, attacking play for 90 minutes. I don't really think it's just feasible right now. So if we're able to go into that first half, like I said, go into the first half, drawn with Man United, in that second half, be able to try to go for it and still end up with the draw. I think that's a solid point in my opinion. Hopefully hear some Enoch out chants. Hopefully see some Enoch out banners. Hopefully see some Enoch out something. Hopefully something, right? I don't that's never going to go away from me. But that's honestly what I think. We can beat Man United. But I've thought that before, and we've gone and beat Man United 3-0. We've gone and stomped them 3-0. So you never know. You never know. But yeah, man, that's just my prediction. That's just my prediction. Well, folks, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. It's been a good show, good live stream. You got to see some of my new tech. Really thought I changed the game right now. Really thought I changed the game. Hopefully, again, like I said, this video won't be eviscerated because I was watching somebody else's YouTube video. Honestly, don't know how all that stuff works. I just wanted to get on YouTube and talk about football, man. I don't know about all the rules, about plagiarism and all that. I'm not making any money off of this, so I don't even feel like this should be or anything. But we'll see. We'll see. But if you could go ahead and do the last minute logistics before I end the show, like this live stream, subscribe to the YouTube channel for me, please. Throw a comment, share this video, let other people know about the De La Spurs content. Let them know about the live reactions and or I shouldn't say live reactions, but the match reactions on Monday. I'll be coming to you live on Monday. Surprisingly enough, here in my town, I got a Manchester United pub that I'm going to be watching the game at. I'm going to be wearing some Tottenham gear. I'm sure I'm going to get some jeers, some boos, some verbal harassment thrown my way, but that's just the life of a Tottenham fan, right? So I'm going to be watching the game, hopefully in a setting to where I'll be able to still kind of get some notes down and be able to kind of break it down to you guys on Monday. Hopefully I won't be too upset. Hopefully we can get, like I said, a draw, a solid point. Hopefully, hell, if we can get a win, that's even better. But hopefully we can get a draw, like I said. Again, so like this, subscribe, please and thank you. Listen, everybody, thank you so much again for joining me this Friday night. I hope your Friday nights are going well, going into the weekend. Get some rest and relaxation and going into Saturday. Hope you enjoy watching the Tottenham Manchester United game. It's been De La Spurs. Join the night. Thank you guys again for watching. I'm out.